There's been an ever-present bugbear within the YouTube community that is the sole arbiter of one's success or failure. YouTube is personality-driven, not quality-driven. You don't have to look very hard to discover that the most popular YouTube channels out there are owned by people who have built a career on entertaining their audience rather than enriching their lives in any meaningful way. Now, this is not a bad thing. Any media personality will tell you that a predictable audience makes for a successful business, and for people who lack the skills to succeed in television or film, YouTube provides them a place to thrive on the skills they do have. However, there's always those people, and you know who you are. Those people who love to tout the idea that people should listen to those who make good points rather than people who entertain their audience. Now, anybody can tell you why that's a dumbass thing to say, but in case you happen to have been born literally yesterday, allow me to enlighten you. The majority of people who watch YouTube videos are between the ages of 10 and 20. Now put yourself in their position. You've just gotten home from a tediously boring and headache-inducing day at school, a place where you're demanded to work your ass off more than most working adults, with the only supposed benefit being that it might one day benefit you in adulthood. The last thing you're going to want to do is sit down and watch somebody drone on and on and on about something you're quickly going to learn you don't care about. In the case of the reviewing community and the analysis community, would you rather watch a review of a My Little Pony episode, or would you rather watch the episode itself? Now, there's one YouTuber I want to spotlight as a good example of this. This is Jim Sterling.
But then again, people say that about the Jimquisition, and I'm still here, so thank God for me. That wasn't supposed to happen. I had a whole bit where I was going to do a joke about how I didn't say thank Goddess for me, and then that happened. I apologise, it won't happen again. I'm sorry I did that.
Jim Sterling's persona can be charitably described as a messiah complex, with his trademark phrase being "thank God for me." While Sterling's hammed-up arrogance was found to be grating in his very early days, it's something his audience overwhelmingly loves and has become a staple of Sterling's content. The benefit of this is that Jim Sterling can get by simply by being Jim Sterling. He can move on to whatever content he likes and can even possibly dabble in film critique, which he did. This is the advantage of being able to entertain one's audience. You have license to do whatever you please because your audience is here to see you. On the reverse, here is John Bain, another video game critic. No, that's not right. Pundit? Tech journalist? Test driver. Well, that's what we'll go with. Test driver. Anyway, his primary series is called WTF Is, where Bain gives people a first impression of a given video game by playing through the start of it and giving his general opinion on it. One problem though, Bain's delivery, presentation, and overall personality is extremely dry. It's a very straight to the point and almost robotic presentation that leaves very little to the imagination. Sometimes he deviates from this style, most of the time he does not. Now, Bain gets praise from his viewers for making good points, but the problem is twofold. For one, whether he makes good points or not is debatable, but secondly, anybody can make good points. Anybody can give you solidly thought out points, especially in a community where copying the points of another is very easy to do. How many people in the analysis community do you see making the exact same points about a given episode? Now think of the 3 or 4 that actually have a sizable audience. I remember hearing Toon critics saying that a lot of people in the analysis community don't like KP, because she's less of an analyst and more of a clown. But when you have the #1 channel in the community, clearly that sort of presentation works. When you have a personality that people get enjoyment out of watching, you are somebody with job security. Jim Sterling never has to worry about keeping the lights on in his home. He can do anything because his audience is here to see him. John Bain can be very easily replaced by the next person willing to test drive a video game. Have you heard of PewDiePie? There you go. That's the kicker here. Anybody can make good points. It's not difficult to do when people are getting their inspiration from the same overall sources. Go watch a video by College Humor called Every YouTube Gamer Ever. The video draws a lot of comparisons to the Normal Boots staff and the YouTubers who try to follow in their footsteps, and Normal Boots itself is seen as an offset of the angry video game nerd. Or how about this? If I say the words channel awesome, what's the first thing you think? Exactly. Cloning what another person says is very easy. Cloning that person themselves is very difficult to do. And when your audience comes for you, you're a valuable asset. When your audience comes for the things you say, you are disposable. Writing off the idea of entertaining your audience is the worst possible business move a content creator could possibly make. There's a reason we're making YouTube videos and we're not writing blogs. Sure, it sounds smart to think that the merit of what being said should be the most important thing. That's a solid idea in theory, but human beings do not spend most of their time watching the Discovery Channel for all their wondrous documentaries. They're watching Game of Thrones and Once Upon a Time, and we're sitting here making videos that analyze a children's cartoon. There's a certain degree of tongue-in-cheek self-awareness you need to go into this with. You could fight the system, or you could use the system to your advantage. Your choice.